Hear ye, hear ye. Are you a creepy crawly? Are you a Dracula that haunts the Transylvanian forests? Are you a werewolf that transforms at night? Are you a mad monster made by the scientists of Frankenstein? Well, have I got good news for you. Do you have children? Well, this school's the Ghoul School for you. Miss Grimwood's school for school. I couldn't finish it.
Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoBalls Talk. I'm ProtoMet.
Miss Grimwood's School for Ghouls. That actually is a tongue twister. Jesus Christ. You try saying it 5 times fast.
Thank you.
This is my recycled balls.
Today we will be taking a look at Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. In case
the cool Ghoul School of ghouls. Of ghoulish ghouls. Ghouly.
This was the second of the Hanna-Barbera Superstar 10 movies. And the second of these Scooby-Doo entries in the...
And honestly, might be the best one.
That is arguable, yes.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Boo Brothers. I think we gave it a 7. I'm pretty sure we gave it a 7.
We also didn't sound like we cared, but...
Yeah.
That was not reflective of our opinion on the movie. That was just us being tired. So hopefully we're full of better energy than we were before.
No, absolutely not. So how's it going for you?
It's going fine.
Going fine? That's good. Yeah, not much here. Just life as it is.
As with Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers, this film stars Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and Scrappy-Doo, and none of the other characters from other entries in the franchise.
And you know what? Scrappy, this might be the best iteration of Scrappy. People hate on him, and I've gotten into this before. I'm fine with him, but I think he's the most tolerable in this movie.
I would actually agree with you.
He's not as annoying as people make him out to be in this particular picture.
This is something I can agree on.
So this came out in 1988, which isn't reflective of the animation because it looks a lot like Ghoul School and Boo Brothers looks a lot older, but they're just recycling the 60s footage. Like they're just recycling their 60s style for the most part.
Just with the altered character design for Shaggy that was introduced in...
Also, Shaggy
Shaggy
has a fucking van in this one.
Yeah, that Jeep from the previous movie, that's gone. Now he's got a van. It's not the Mystery Machine. It's some completely new van.
Also, I do want to talk briefly that they got a lot of, B-list and near A-list actors for this. They got the fucking kid they got Chunk from the Goonies in this movie. Along with Sue Blue, who has been on this podcast before.
Yep.
She has appeared on this podcast before. She is RC from
Transformers.
From Transformers. Yep. And of course, Don Messick and Casey Kasem.
Of course, I mean, but it's also got
Glynis Johns, who was a famous stage and film actor from the 40s and 50s. She was in Mary Poppins.
Yeah, this movie is surprisingly star-studded, mostly due to the voice actors.
Yeah, Frank Welker's back too, and if you know what Frank Welker does as an actor, you'll recognize him immediately.
Or just have a really good guess.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint. It's not a speaking role. Barely.
I will also want to say that this movie is actually pretty reflective of the period of time in the Scooby-Doo franchise where it was just Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy. As having seen a bunch of the episodes from that period, a lot of them do involve Shaggy and Scooby trying to get jobs, and this is another one of them.
Huh. Do you recognize a... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, do you recognize the name Harold Frumpkin from Rugrats?
Not offhand, no.
Okay. Never mind. Mona Lisa from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Or the 87 series.
Yeah, I know which one you were talking about.
Yeah, okay. That one's familiar.
She is familiar, though.
Yeah, okay. The voice actress is also, for her, is also in this.
Yeah, I think she's in like 1 or 2 episodes. So.
Yeah, you know,
She's notable as being one of the few female characters in the series.
Yeah. And then they got... Yeah, then they got Brutal Lee, this Canadian-American actress of Lithuanian descent who was in the musical Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. So they've got a lot of, like stage actors to do this, and a lot of... You know what I mean? I don't know.
They've got a combination of stage actors and traditional voice actors who probably weren't quite as popular now as they would become.
And they got the voice actress from one of the many Scooby-Doo clones. You may recognize this show. Captain Caveman! And the Teen Angels, Brenda Chance.
Fun fact, if you actually look for a Scooby-Doo figure from the new movie that came out recently, it comes packaged with Captain Caveman.
Yes! Dude, Captain Caveman is so great.
I have not yet seen the most recent movie, but apparently it's an attempt to make a Scooby multiverse, or a cinematic universe.
Oh, apparently she was in Nausicaa Valley of the Wind. That's weird.
Which version?
The 84 version.
Oh.
Yes. Quiet.
The version that nobody cares to even mention and nearly killed Hayao Miyazaki's interest in exporting his movies to the U.S.
Oh, okay. So she was also in Goes Hollywood.
Okay.
She was Sherry, the sis, and the receptionist.
All right, I think it's about time we actually get to talking about the movie proper and not just the stuff connected to the movie.
But I just wanted to also mention that the last guy, Ronald Shell, he was Duke Slater in Gomer Pyle. For any of you who have ever watched Gomer Pyle, it's a great show. It's from the 60s. It was a spin-off. It was actually a spin-off of the Andy Griffith Show, because Gomer Pyle appeared in that show first.
And then he was replaced by his brother Goober.
And Gomer got his own popular TV show. And he passed away just a few months ago, I believe.
Oh.
I remember, if I remember right. Yeah, he passed away a few months ago. So yeah, let's get into it after that riveting discussion.
So Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy arrive at the are searching for the boarding school that they will be attending as gym teachers.
Never mind, he passed away in 2017.
Oh.
Sorry, Jim Neighbors. Jim Neighbors, if anybody's wondering. Yes. Oh, speaking of, I had this weirdest conversation with somebody today. Not to sidetrack the conversation, not to sidetrack everything, because we'll get into it, and it's a good show, I promise.
Movie.
Good movie. Telemovie.
Yeah.
But somebody, I was talking to somebody, and they were like, vaccines only prevent diseases, they don't fight diseases. And all I could think of was, are you kidding me? What do you think vaccines are for? Why do you think we're trying to get a vaccine?
Moving on.
He's not an anti-vaxxer. He's just not smart. Didn't think that one through.
Anyway.
For only the two things I said was tuberculosis, and smallpox. There you go. Look them up. There's a reason they don't exist anymore.
Anyway, so Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy are going through a swampy area, trying to find the school that they will be attending as the newly hired gym teachers.
Yes, Miss Grimwood's School for Girls.
But first, they come across another school.
And yes, that was intentional.
Yes, what was intentional?
Stick a pin in that for now. Yeah, and they
arrive at another school. What's the name of that school?
Fuck if I know.
It's named after the one teacher that it has.
Yeah. So there's one thing that's weird with this movie. Like, Galloway's military school for Galloway Academy for Young Men, I believe.
Something to. It's a military school.
Yeah.
Minus all the military. It's mostly just the drill sergeant and none of the actual fighting.
Yeah, pretty much. Hold on. Yeah, Miss Grimwood's finishing school for girls. Yes. Quiet. Hold on. And, I just want to point out, that... Okay, yes, Callaway Military Academy. I just want to point out, though, that this is such a parody of the Universal Monster movies.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even trying to hide it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a parody, so they can't really get sued for it.
Yeah, none of the characters are ones that are copyright infringing.
Yeah.
Except for the, public domain ones, but those are public domain.
Those are public domain. I'm surprised they didn't have it. Never mind. I was about to say, I'm surprised they didn't have an Invisible Man. That would have been an interesting concept.
That's My Hero Academia.
Yeah, but that one's not a horror parody.
No.
That one's just, from what I hear, an okay show.
And I've heard great things about it, but
doesn't
generally from people who really like it.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Never seen it myself.
Exactly. The people who like My Hero, Boku no Academia, or My Hero Academia, if they like it, that's fine. Just stop shoving it in my face? Question mark. I don't know. I don't like shows being shoved in my face. That's why I don't shove my shows in people's faces.
Except for at the end of these videos.
But that's only because we're recommending.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, they go to the school for girls.
Well, first they stop off at the Callaway school.
Yeah.
And then realize their mistake and go to the Grimwood school, which is noticeably shabbier.
Shabbier.
On purpose.
Shabbier is an understatement.
Derelict. Almost. It's your traditional haunted house look.
Yes.
And that's completely on purpose because, as Shaggy and the others soon learn...
From Miss Grimwood herself.
That it's actually a school for monster girls.
Not those monster girls. No. No.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
No.
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to them.
Yeah, I know. You're talking to them. I'm just repeating. No.
But yeah, no.
Not like that. We're talking the daughters of the Universal Monsters.
Yeah, we get 5 girls. We get Tanis, the mummy girl. We get
who is
Elsa Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, which is weird.
Frankenstein's monster. There's the other 3.
Hold on.
Winnie the werewolf.
Yep, Winnie the werewolf. Phantasma.
The ghost girl. And the first one that they get introduced to
Sibella.
is Sibella, the daughter of Dracula.
Which isn't punny. It's not a punny name. It's just, her name's Sibella.
Is Tanis a punny name?
Tanis actually is a punny name.
Okay.
Because Tanis is a city in Egypt.
I did not know that.
Yep.
That is a pun I did not get. So, yeah, all of...
Yes, Tanis is a city in the northeastern Nile Delta of Egypt. It is located in the Tanaitic branch of the Nile, which has long since silted up. In other words, it's an abandoned city.
We're also introduced to the pet dragon.
I know. Matches, that's right.
Matches!
Matches, who is voiced by a very familiar monkey from Aladdin.
I thought he was a gun from Transformers.
I thought he was just this regular white dude who had a green van. Could he be all these things?
Oh my god! Yeah, this
Frank
movie...
Welker.
This movie is absolutely filled to the brim with puns.
Oh, God.
They're kind of cringeworthy, but they're part of the appeal of the movie.
Yeah. So, like, every so often, when they would have, like, really bad puns, I would just, while we were watching, I would just shout out, "Oh my God, the puns!"
And it's a bit difficult to really convey just how punny this movie is without...
No, it's very easy to convey. All you gotta do is just listen to Sabella talk. She is
9 times out of 10 she has a pun.
like fantastic. Oh my God!
And a lot of the minor
driving me batty.
A lot of the minor events in this movie are kind of just set up for puns, which is completely fine.
I think, like, out of all of them, I think Phantasma might be the most annoying, but even then, that's negligent.
Because
that's negligible.
It's because the most annoying aspect of her is her cackle, which is kind of her whole thing.
Yeah.
She's a ghost.
She's a ghost. She's supposed to... Also, there is a 10 out of 10... Fuck. Now I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Oh, there's a 10 out of 10 Peter Lorre impression in this movie that we'll get to, because it's actually pretty amazing.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of enjoyed it too.
Oh, yes!
So, of course, after learning that they are at a school for monster girls, Shaggy and Scooby want out. Scrappy is kind of okay. But
this brought up a big fucking question that will later go on and this douchebag will argue against, or will argue a different theory for, but I won't bring that up. I'll bring that up next time.
Okay.
Not the next one. The one after the next one.
Okay.
After the the Scooby-Doo movie after the next one.
I'll forget about it because I don't even know what he's talking about.
Okay, the fact that you have all these movies later on that
don't have real monsters?
That have real monsters. Okay, you know what? No. Actually, if it's the same universe, I could still see it being a thing that Scooby and Shaggy would still be scared of them. And not so much scared here. Because they're fucking girls, you know?
They're little girls.
They're little girls. They're innocent, you know?
And that is something that I do enjoy about this movie. At first, Shaggy and Scooby are absolutely terrified of everything around them in this whole situation.
And then they just acclimate to the situation.
Yeah, then they're like, yeah, okay, we're in this situation. These girls, while scary, aren't trying to be scary, unlike most of the monsters we encounter. I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like, they get used to it.
Which I guess makes sense for why they acclimate well in this situation and not so much in, like, shit like Zombie Island or Witch's Ghost.
It's shit that's sprung on them. It keeps being sprung on them, and...
Not only that, it's fucking zombies! Like, honest to God, fucking zombies. Spoiler alert, but I mean, it's fucking called Zombie Island. And that's my favorite, that's my favorite Scooby-Doo movie of all time. It's the one I grew up with the most.
I think most people would agree with you on that sentiment.
Well, but we're actually not really. A lot of people actually like, what's it called? The fourth one.
Cyber Chase?
Yes, a lot of people...
Why?
I like Cyber Chase.
I'll get into my reasons that I don't like Cyber Chase when we actually talk about that.
I'll say this. Cyber Chase is a bit more adult. Not so much the content, but more the humor. It's a lot more adult. It has sarcasm. It has sarcasm and satire in it.
But that's a topic for later. Yeah. We're barely past the 10-minute mark for this movie.
And we're only 20 minutes in.
Yeah, we're making excellent time.
Not only that, so not only do you have these 5 girls and Matches, who's like a baby dragon, I guess.
Pretty much. I mean, I'd say more like a kid dragon.
Maybe. Yes, diminutive pet dragon Matches. You've also got Miss Grimwood, who's, I believe, is human. I want to assume she's human, but she's just a witch.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna go with, like, the stereotypical gypsy type character from, like, Wolfman.
Well, they're still human. Yeah, they're still human, though.
I know, I'm just...
I guess it's...
Like, within fiction, they tend to be connected to mystical abilities. But yeah, witch is pretty good.
I guess she could be a gypsy witch.
There we go.
Then I don't want to say anything that'll offend anybody. But Miss Grimwood owns property.
Yeah, okay.
So she can't be a gypsy. You know what I mean?
I always thought that gypsy was like a somewhat derogatory term for an Egyptian.
No.
Yeah.
Gypsy... How do I put it? A gypsy is basically a common term for nomadic people who don't like to settle down and tend to go... They're just basically a nomadic people that go around in caravans and whatnot all throughout Europe. And they're kind of considered a pest to a lot of people. So you know what I mean?
Okay, let's
I don't
want
to be... Yeah, I don't want to be derogatory towards them. That's just...
I'm just saying that her outfit.
Yes, okay, she's a witch. Anyway, she's a witch or a gypsy. I don't really know which. But she's definitely human.
Yes, she's...
And she's definitely acclimated to monster food. And Shaggy and Scooby also get acclimated to monster food later on.
Again, a lot of this movie is... A lot of the minor events in this movie are really just setting up puns and visual gags, so...
But yeah, so Shaggy...
We're kind of gonna gloss over a good chunk of it. Really check out the movie. But
anyway, Shaggy and Scooby have been hired...
as gym teachers,
yes,
to help with the volleyball competition that is coming up, I think the next day.
Among the other staff, there's also a floating white hand that does fuck all.
I forgot it existed.
There's the octopus butler,
I forgot existed until rewatching this movie for this video.
There's Legs, the spider.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Spider.
Just a spider. And that's the other staff. So Scooby and Shaggy are the only other teachers. Unless there are other teachers and they're just never shown. Which I would assume Miss Grimwood's the one that just teaches them. Because there's 5 of them. What are you going to do? You know?
Going to the, 5 boys at the military academy. How's that still open?
Yes, there are.
But yes, Shaggy and the others have been hired to...
I actually assume there's more. It's just those are the main 5.
Anyway, Scooby and Shaggy have been hired to help teach the girls volleyball so that they can actually win one of these competitions for once.
Because
a little mummy girl who really wants a trophy for her mummy case. What?
Oh my god, the puns!
I don't even get it! I don't even get it.
I don't get it.
And,
I don't get it either.
Their opponent in this volleyball competition is the Callaway's
kids.
The Callaway
The
military,
Callaway Goof Troop.
The military academy that got mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that happens. There's ballet lessons.
There's a jog.
There is a jog. I think this is also where the Callaway boys are properly introduced to the rest.
Oh my god! Yeah. So
they're introduced spying on the school, but
and they're not. It's not treated as anything negative. It's just hey, we're
scouting out the competition.
Scouting out the competition. Nothing creepy about this. There's also a scene where they're working out and howling and all that shit. Yeah. Letting loose. I guess the word is.
Yeah, this is a movie that's a bit difficult to really express how great it is without, you actually seeing it. Because, again, most of it is for the puns and the jokes.
Fucking hell. Okay, just a little side tangent. Nothing to do with the movie. It is fucking miserable outside. And there's and I wish we had the AC on, but it's loud as shit. It is like 95 and like 70% humidity out.
Ugh, it is awful.
Awful. The worst. I feel bad for everybody who has to work outside today. They're gonna have the worst. Just ugh. Anyway, I say this because it sure as fuck doesn't look hot out in that movie.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's taking place in like the fall, considering that I think Halloween.
Yes, because it's Halloween coming up.
Halloween is coming up. That is a point in the movie. And
so long story short, the kids. Let me get the kids' names here.
It's not really too important their names, just that they're kind of they're military boys.
Yes. So they're led by Colonel Calloway, who's basically the butt of all the slapstick.
You've got the stereotypical white kid. You've got the black kid. You've got the Hispanic kid. You've got the fat kid, and you've got the short kid. And that's really all that they amount to. They're otherwise cookie cutter characters.
Yeah, okay, so there's Tug Roper, which is a weird fucking name.
Yep.
Why that name? I guess it's just weirder in today's context.
Maybe.
But yeah, he's the stereotypical white blonde kid who's the leader of the group. There's Miguel, who's the inventor, that's cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then there's Jamal, who's the stereotypical black kid.
He doesn't come across as like...
He's not like stereotypical black kid. He's just like the token black guy.
Yeah, just token black guy. He's not really that stereotypical. He's just a character who happens to be black.
And has no other defining qualities. Which is
kind of indicative of a lot of all five of these boys.
Yeah, they're the token troop, I'll tell you that. There's Grunt, who's voiced by Chunk from the Goonies.
And is the fat kid. Talk about being typecast.
Oh, I'm sure he fucking loved to have been on a Scooby-Doo movie.
Probably.
Dude, if I was a kid in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I would have loved to have been on a Scooby-Doo movie. You kidding me? It's a Scooby-Doo movie. Doesn't matter the quality of it. It's a Scooby-Doo movie.
And then finally we got...
Then there's Baxter, who's the tiny kid. The youngest.
Yeah. And that's really
all... Baxter's like the only one that ever listens to the Colonel. Yeah.
I mean, the other kids do listen to the Colonel, but it's more like as their superior officer while still having agency on their own. They're really stereotypical and not too distinct.
Yeah.
I mean, if not for how well they play in with the rest of the movie,
what?
They'd be forgettable.
You know what it is? The first half of the movie is nothing. It's nothing.
It's preparation for the volleyball game.
Yeah, it's all preparation for the volleyball game, and then the second half, you get the actual plot.
So, a bunch of stuff happens, and we get to the volleyball game, and it's...
And which most of it also involves Scooby-Doo pissing off Matches, and Matches being a fire-breathing dragon. Fucking...
And at one point, Scooby-Doo swallowing a remote control for the remote-controlled volleyball that the Calloway boys...
They try to cheat during the game!
And no one calls them out on it!
No one calls them out on it! But yeah, Matches mellows out as the movie goes on.
Again, a lot of what happens in this movie is really just setting up jokes. Which is completely fine, because this is a comedy.
Yeah.
It's just a bit difficult to really talk about the plot elements when a lot of it is just setups for jokes.
It's a good movie, but goddamn does it take its sweet time.
Kinda, yeah. And then the volleyball game finishes, and the Grimwood girls win!
Thanks to Shaggy and Scooby's interference. Not really interference, but you know what I mean. Scooby accidentally, swallows the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get to the second act of the movie. The Halloween party.
And everything that follows thereafter, yeah.
So we get to...
No, it's around this time in the movie that we're introduced to the...
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I will talk about that when we get there.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the Halloween party.
Yes, okay, fine.
Involving the parents, or at least the fathers of the 5 girls.
Not
and now suddenly Scooby and Shaggy are back to being absolutely terrified.
And I guess I can understand it, maybe. A little bit.
Because it's Dracula, a mummy, the Phantom, who's voiced by, or an impression of...
Yeah, Peter Lorre. Frankenteen.
Yes.
The Frankenteen monster.
Yes.
Which is, just call him Frankenstein, my god.
And the Wolfman.
Yeah, and the Wolfman.
And,
which...
The party goes pretty well.
I wanted to say, it would have been funnier... Would have been funnier if the Wolfman was just like a guy. just a dude! Hi, I am the Wolfman. Yes. Nice to meet you. Well, not the Wolfman, he's a werewolf. Yeah.
But he's just in his human form.
Yeah, but he's just in his human form. They can't use the Wolfman, because that's actually copyrighted.
Right.
By Universal, but they can use a werewolf, so they call them the werewolf. But it would have been just funnier if he was just like a normal dude. And then the moon came out, and then he transformed, and was still normal. It's like, no, that just happens.
Yeah, the monster parents in this movie, despite Scooby and Shaggy being absolutely terrified of them, are pretty okay with these human and dogs.
They're okay with these humans.
Because, I mean, they help their girls to win a trophy.
Win a fucking volleyball game. That can't be that bad.
And this
But if anything happens to them, you're dead. You're a dead motherfucker. If that chick bounces, you're a dead motherfucker.
So yeah. And then finally we get to the third act of the movie, which is about when I'm now ready to introduce that character who has actually was introduced a lot earlier in the movie and had very little relevance until this moment.
Revolta, Witch of the Web.
The villain of this movie. You thought the boys were the villain of this movie? No.
No.
No, it's some four-armed witch who just kind of shows up a few times and acts all sinister, but doesn't do anything until the third act of the movie.
Because she's hatching a plot.
She's hatching a plot to...
Soon I'll be the most powerful witch in all the world.
Her plot is to kidnap the 5 girls and then brainwash them into working for her, thereby having the transitive power of making her the most powerful monster. Somehow. My assumption is she brainwashes them and turns them absolutely evil, so then she's got the monster parents by the balls. And she waits until this point in the movie to do so, because she has to keep them brainwashed until a certain point, otherwise the brainwashing will be reversible. Which it eventually becomes.
So yeah.
Scooby, Shaggy, and Scrappy, and Matches do eventually save the girls. I mean, of course they do. It's a family movie. It's not going to end on such a grim ending.
Oh, it might. You never know.
Okay, fair point.
You never know.
But probably not.
I assume not. So anyway, she finally puts her plan into action, and she sends one of her bats.
Spider bats. 2 of her spider bats.
She sends 2 of her spider bats out and sneaks into the school and brainwashes Shaggy for like a second to give him the idea of,
let's go on a jog out into the swamp.
Jog to the bog. A jog through the barren bog. Also, she has a minion called the Grim Creeper, which is just like
a potato with tentacles.
Yeah, a tentacled
potato.
A tentacled potato. A tentacled cyclop potato.
It's like there's no other way to describe that character. He's a potato.
He's a potato. Either that or a squash.
I'm leaning more towards a potato because potatoes are known for their eyes. And they have tentacle-like roots.
I suppose, yeah.
So, yeah. Potato. Rotten potato.
A very rotten potato indeed. Yeah, they decide they're going to take a field trip through the barren bog. The same day, coincidentally,
that the Calloway boys are also going through the bog. So, of course, shenanigans. The boys are also instrumental in helping.
They get stuck in... Yeah, so they veer off from the Colonel, and they get stuck in quicksand.
And are saved by Tanis and Frankenstein.
Frankentine, yes.
Frankentine.
Elsa.
Also Frankentine.
I don't think we can call her Elsa anymore, because that name's already taken.
Oh, huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People might confuse us.
To be honest, I found the Frankentine name more memorable than her actual given name. That's kind of why I kept calling her that.
Yeah.
And not Elsa.
But during all this, Winnie gets brainwashed first. So yeah, that's the thing that happens.
Then the ghost girl,
Phantasma.
I think Sabella gets brainwashed, but it's a temporary brainwash, and then she gets brainwashed again later.
I think she gets chased down by the spider bats.
Oh yeah, I guess she doesn't get. Maybe I don't remember.
She runs away and gets the brainwash there, but she's probably got the best mental fortitude and tries to fight it off the best. I guess, you know.
Yeah.
So then it's just Tanis and Frankentine, who also get brainwashed.
And kidnapped.
And Scooby-Doo accidentally walks in on the brainwashing. And he's like, oh, fuck. Because he runs away because he accidentally pisses off Matches. No big Of course. No big surprise. And he hides in a shed where the brainwashing is taking place. And
goes off to go get Shaggy and Scrappy.
And he's saved. He's actually chased by the Grim Creeper, but is saved by Matches. Yes, that's another detail. Because Matches is like, who the fuck's this guy?
It's like, he's more pissed off at the strangers than the teachers at this point.
Yeah, stranger danger, everybody. Always breathe fire on strangers.
Yeah.
Never know what they're up to.
Yeah.
They might kidnap you. And the girls you're teaching. Happened to a friend of mine. He's better now. It's okay. Yeah. He's dead now. I don't know if that's in good taste or not.
I have no idea.
In context it should be, but out of context that sounds like a terrible, terrible thing to happen. Never mind. Moving on. Moving on before people think terribly of me.
Too late.
Right. So then the fucking shed takes off like a rocket because Shaggy and Scooby and Scrappy and Matches see it happening. They see it just flying through the sky. Meanwhile, the Calloway kids are sent home. Back to the barracks.
Yes.
Because the fuck, guys, I told you to follow me.
Yeah. It's a military school. Listen to
Baxter's the only one who followed Calloway. And he's the only one who's unharmed throughout the entire thing.
So then, anyway, they go to Shaggy and the others go to Revolta's castle. Shaggy encounters...
Which is like, oh, it's just down the road from the school, you know?
How did they not notice that before?
How come we didn't see this before?
Plot convenience. At one point, Shaggy encounters a mirror and ends up getting swapped with his mirror doppelganger.
The mirror monster, yeah. Oh, the mirror monster. What a great idea.
Such a fantastic character that they had to include it in the end credit sequence. Even though it's kind of forgettable.
Yeah. It's such a minor plot point. Anyway, the point is, Mirror Monster kidnaps Shaggy, throws him in the mirror, comes out of the mirror and chases Scooby-Doo. Shenanigans happen. Matches saves the day.
Shaggy is saved.
Literally, the mirror monster is like, it's too dangerous out here. Jumps into the mirror and just kicks Shaggy out. She's like, fuck you. Go back to your own world.
Meanwhile, back to the plot.
Meanwhile, Meanwhile, oh, you've done it now. You killed Evil Ed's littlest brother.
You know, I wanted to make a reference. I just didn't know how to.
Yeah.
No context!
Oh. Do you have the time? Do you have the time, old man? No.
Anybody who knows what the hell we're talking about...
We talked about it!
Probably. But no context.
No context.
Please do not leave comments explaining this.
Oh.
Unless somebody asks nicely.
Oh my god. That game. Oh my god.
No context.
No context. It's a game, though.
Which is some context. Stop it.
Oh, man. Anyway, so...
back with the Revolta plotline.
They're making the kids clean. They're basically making them slaves.
Then at some point, Scooby, Shaggy, Scrappy, and Matches get dumped into a pit with a monster.
The Quadro, as I will call them, the Quadro, not the trio.
Yeah.
The Quadro gets dropped into a pit, and they gotta fight the moat monster. Even though it's not.
And Matches can't do anything because he got some water down his throat. It happens to the best of us.
My question is, it's not a moat monster. Because it's not a moat. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they actually call it a moat monster.
They called it the moat monster.
Okay.
I swear to God, they call it the moat monster.
I do know that there is a moat monster in Scooby-Doo. More than one, I want to say. So, good luck finding it. Unless you actually go to the wiki page for this particular special, in which case, shut up. They do manage to help get its help in escaping.
Okay, never mind. They call it the Well Dweller. My bad. Ha! I swear I've heard the moat. Oh no! Okay, the moat monster is from Zombie Island. Never mind.
I think there was one before that, but I know which one you're talking
about. Yes. Anyway,
let's move on.
We need to get this. We need to get this done. We're 42 minutes in, and we've sort of gotten sidetracked with everything. It's not a long movie.
And it's less than an hour and a half.
Like I said, we skipped over like the first half.
No, actually, I think it's over an hour and a half.
It's like an hour 20. It's like a feature-length film, but
it's fine.
It flies by.
Surprisingly, yeah.
That said, yeah, we skipped over the first third because there's really nothing to it. Like the first third, there's a funny scene where the cadets run into Matches who stole their volleyball, and Matches tries to bury it, and then gets chewed out by Miss Grimwood. But other than that, there's like not much else. There's the moat scene.
I mean, these are some fun scenes, but they're really kind of. You need to be there and experience it yourself to really get it, which is difficult to explain in this review.
Yeah, just about.
The girls are charming as hell, though.
Anyway, the girls are sat down, they're plopped down, and the ultra brainwashing begins. Why did I say ultra? Because it's better that way.
And then Shaggy and the others decide to play ball with the Well Dweller.
Yeah, they play ball with the Well Dweller, and the Well Dweller gets so distracted that he accidentally lets them up. And then they just give him the ball.
Yeah.
And he's happy.
And then they save the girls, and everything falls apart for Revolta. Revolta and the Creeper tried to escape.
Yeah, okay, so the cadets finally make use of themselves.
By bringing in a helicopter to save everybody.
A very DIY helicopter, might I mention. That doesn't look like he could...
The Calloway boys are basically like, those girls saved our lives. We should return the favor.
Not... Whatever that means, they don't even know that they were in... Unless they spotted it.
I think they spotted it.
Right.
I think they spotted it while they were still in the bog, but then they had to go back to the academy with their general...
I guess.
Colonel
Colonel
and
Galloway.
then it was just later, it's like, we should go help those girls.
There's another funny bit we missed. Because Calloway's the butt of all the jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
When he goes to visit the
academy.
The finishing school.
Oh my god! Yes! We need to talk about that! We gotta talk about that! Holy shit!
Let's rewind the movie to the first act.
Okay, so there was a scene we missed that is very questionable. Not question, like, in context, well, in context, it's not questionable. Out of context, it is very questionable. So, Calloway comes to visit, and he sits on a chair, and it locks up on him. It just wraps around him, like chains him up. And Miss Grimwood's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's an old antique. It's from the Inquisition."
Early Inquisition.
Immediately, red lights and alarms go off in my head. Woo! Wait, the Inquisition is canon in this movie?
Why would it not be?
More the fact that they would just reference the Inquisition.
Just casually reference it.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
I can't even remember what they all say in that sketch.
No, just... Here's what you do. You'll cut this part out, and then you'll put in the Spanish Inquisition bit.
No, I won't.
Just like the beginning of it.
Nope.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Monty Python, go check it out.
Fuck you. You're no fun.
Hey, I'm telling people to go check out Monty Python.
Don't watch Monty Python. Watch Life of Brian instead.
Which is Monty Python.
They won't know the difference.
Except that it's called Monty Python's A Life of Brian.
Shut up, you whore mouth.
Oh, snap. Sorry.
Yeah. It's no longer shut your whore mouth. It's called shut up, you whore mouth.
I am the whore mouth.
You are the whore mouth now.
Whore.
Yeah, and then there's another scene after they lose the volleyball game where he's like, don't leave with your with your tails tucked between your legs. Retreat with dignity, man. And then Scooby-Doo starts hiccuping because that's a thing. He accidentally because he swallowed the
remote control for the volleyball,
and it hits the Colonel and just sort of bounces him all the way back. Yeah. So anyway, the cadets, they saved the girls.
Yeah, we're back in the third act again.
So yeah, Scooby fucked up the formula, so now it doesn't work anymore.
Also, he got turned into a frog at one point.
He got turned into a frog at one point.
And then he got better.
And Tannis changed him back because they stole the wand.
Yep.
Which is like a wishbone wand.
It looks like a wish. It looks like a tuning fork or wishbone.
A wooden tuning fork. I wonder how that would work.
Not very well.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, yeah. So the cadets drop a ladder. They all grab it. They're all flying away as the entire castle's blowing up.
And Revolta, and
the Grim Creeper.
They're making their escape on brooms, vowing to return and succeed in their evil plan. And then
they're shot by lightning and they die. They don't die on screen. They're just assumed dead.
I thought they tried casting a spell back at them, but it got mirrored right back at them.
Nope.
I thought that.
Nope. It just exploded. Electricity came out of the castle and shocked them.
Oh.
For no reason.
Yeah, and it obliterated the brooms they were flying away on, and they fell to their deaths. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Definitive conclusion. Never going to be brought up ever again. Don't give Warner Brothers any ideas.
Please. After Return to Zombie Island, I would fucking hate it if they returned to this. Unless they give it the proper respect and love that it deserves. Then maybe I would be fine with it.
And so everybody's at...
So then Shaggy...
Then all the girls and Shaggy and them return to Grimwood School and they have a party.
With the Callaways.
Yes, and then Shaggy and the others get introduced to the new students.
Which is...
an alien girl, a gill girl.
Yeah, creature from the Black Lagoon.
Godzilla's daughter.
Yes, that actually is a thing.
Because there was a Godzilla cartoon that was produced by Hanna-Barbera.
Yep. And so that Godzilla's canon to Scooby-Doo. Which is... What else did they have? I swear they had another one. They had another two. Let me see here. They had an alien. They had a
Gill man, and then Godzilla. I think maybe at this point we also get introduced to the invisible daughter. I think that's also one of them.
Maybe.
That might be why
but then Scooby and Shaggy are like, nope, we're done.
Nope. And they peace out, leave, and that's how the movie ends.
Yeah. Good movie.
Great movie. I mean, we kind of had to just breeze right through it. But again, a lot of this movie is setting up jokes. So,
a few of them are good. A few of them don't particularly land. But that's with any comedy. That's when...
By and large, it's great. By and large, it's funny. And
I'd give it a 7.5.
I'd give it a 7.5 as well. I do know that the girls did get brought back for an episode of the Cartoon Network show LKKO.
Yep.
Which is a much more recent show, and most of the surviving voice actresses actually reprise their roles too.
I'm pretty sure all of them are still alive.
I'm not certain.
Well, except the older ones. The ones that were from the stage. Yeah, those ones probably aren't still alive. Oh, well,
the point is that most of the voice actresses return to reprise their roles in this.
Yes.
And surprisingly enough, as far as I'm aware, there's no other connection to Scooby-Doo that series has.
Nope.
So it's just a random bringing back of characters from a fairly obscure movie, and I love it.
Yeah.
I really should check that episode out.
As it stands, Ghoul School, Boo Brothers, and then way on the bottom is Goes Hollywood.
Yeah, that's the tier list we got going right now. How will things change with the next one we do?
It won't.
Probably not.
Spoiler alert, Reluctant Werewolf is next, and it is...
I mean, that's not the next one we'll be covering on
the next Scooby-Doo movie, and it is fucking trash.
Yeah. But we'll get into that when we get into that.
Not to say I don't like it, but it's a bit like Hollywood. You watch it back then and you thought it was fine, and you watch it now and you realize, God, it's awful.
Yeah. So recommendations. It's recommendation
Have
time.
I recommended Urusei Yatsura yet?
Yes.
Okay, never mind then.
We did that at the end of the last one.
G Gundam. I'm going to recommend G Gundam.
Okay.
G Gundam. So, the planet is polluted. So it's a different timeline to the Universal Century.
This one is set in the future century timeline.
Yes. So the Earth is polluted, and
a lot of the nations of the Earth have moved up into colonies in space.
Yeah, moved up into colonies now, leaving the Earth to its own devices, and a lot of people living there.
But in order to prevent war between the nations...
So war is officially decided by a giant robot battle.
Or giant robot tournament that takes place...
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
It's basically the Olympics of that.
Just with giant robots and no actual sporting competitions. But a lot of martial arts.
Mm-hmm. And we follow the story of Domon Kashu.
During the 13th Gundam fight.
Yes. And he basically is not really much of a spoiler because it's introduced in
pretty early on.
Pretty early on.
He's down on Earth not only as a competitor in the Gundam fight, but also in search of his older brother. He's
basically been forced to be the representative of Japan, of Neo Japan,
and find his brother and the massive experimental mobile suit that he had stolen, the Devil Gundam. Known as the Dark Gundam in the US version. And, yeah.
It's got a great opening too.
Oh,
it is probably like it's probably the best Gundam opening out of all of them, behind Zeta's American opening.
I would argue that Rhythm Emotion from Gundam Wing is better.
But
that's a personal opinion.
I haven't watched Gundam Wing yet. But my favorite character, what's his name?
One thing that G Gundam has is cultural stereotypes.
Oh my god, yes.
Like, just absolutely blatant cultural stereotypes. Not offensive ones, but it's just like, you look at a character, it's like, yeah, I know which country that character is from immediately.
Okay, so like, my favorite is Neo America's representative, Chippity Crockett, who might be everyone's favorite. Gundam!
That's only in the Japanese version, unfortunately.
That's only in the Japanese version.
They had to cut out one of its catchphrases for the US version.
Gundam!
Love that.
But every time, I think my favorite is every time they start a fight, it's always ready, go, Shining of Gundam, and he snaps his finger and it appears, and the suit thing. The thing with the suit, that looks just painful though.
It is explained to be painful. Like, if you are not trained to use it, it is very painful.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta give the Gundam fighters in this series credit, because that looks painful. Even when the fighters themselves are using it, it sometimes looks like they're in a bit of pain. This is in no way a series that's representative of Gundam as a whole. There is no war. It is just super robot action to the max.
Argogolski might also be like a second favorite, but also because he's kind of a bad guy, but he's also not. He's a big anti-hero.
Yeah.
He's kind of that wild card.
It is such a fantastic series.
He and Domon don't. They kind of have a rivalry, but it's not.
It's a respectful rivalry.
Yeah.
They don't hate each other.
Also, fuck Neo Russia. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So basically, Neo Russia,
in an attempt to avoid actually fighting,
avoid losing.
To avoid actually fighting for like the first half of the Gundam fight tournament, just straight up imprisons the Gundam fighters who come into their territory.
Not only that, they've been doing it for years.
Yeah!
They've been doing it almost every tournament.
And somehow have been getting away with it.
I will say Gentle Chapman's also pretty cool.
Yeah. This show has a lot of great characters, and you really gotta check it out.
I don't know if he died, though. In that episode, in the early episode.
Leave it up to interpretation.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, no, fantastic series. That is a strong recommendation.
Yes, G Gundam. Please check it out.
I honestly can't.
I believe it came after Double Zeta.
No, it came out after Victory Gundam.
Okay, which came out after Double Zeta.
Yeah.
I think G Gundam came out in what, 80s?
90s.
90s?
I want to say 94. Maybe 95.
Yes, 1994, yeah.
Because that was followed up by Wing in 95, X in 90.
Basically, it was the first one to take place in an alternate universe, I believe. Or did Victory also take?
No, Victory was part of the UC.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, G Gundam took place in a different century, and it kind of popularized the multiverse aspect of Gundam.
Because it was then followed up by Wing, which was also in another continuity. Gundam X, which could arguably have been set after the Universal Century, given that a lot of terminology and elements are there. But it's still a different timeline. Then Seed, and its follow-up Seed Destiny. Then 00, then Age, then...
Just fucking a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Any recommendations you have?
Well, I've actually been holding on to this recommendation for a good long while, specifically for this video. Now, a few videos back, a few podcasts back, I recommended Uzumaki and Tomie from Junji Ito. This time, I'm going to recommend his manga adaptation of Frankenstein. Because this manga genuinely reminded me of how grisly of a story that is. Like, this
and
movie...
How much of a terrible person Frankenstein actually is.
Like, this movie that we talked about, Ghoul School, has a Frankenstein-inspired character, and this movie is for kids.
No! You know what I forgot to mention? Put the poster back on. Put the poster back on. Elsa Frankenstein's gift to Daddy Frankenstein.
It's like a Walkman, but with like,
oh my God.
It's like an external. It's like a battery pack that we have nowadays that you can plug into stuff.
Yes.
Except that it's a Walkman that attaches to their bolts.
She calls it a Shockman, which is good punny shit.
But yeah, no. Getting back to Junji Ito's Frankenstein. Honestly, it is an incredibly faithful adaptation of this story. And I highly recommend it, along with the other stories that are actually included in... Don't worry about that. That was the noise I was hoping to avoid before the podcast.
I doubt they even heard it. Anyway.
It probably did because it came from this computer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Go on.
It is an incredibly faithful adaptation, and it has some horrific visuals, and just utterly reminds you of how grisly of a tale Frankenstein is, which is often forgotten about in this day and age. What with, Frankenstein being such a iconic monster that shows up in kids' shows, and everybody just kind of overlooks the fact that it's stitched together from corpses. Like, people just often just kind of gloss over the fact that somebody went out, dug up corpses, hacked them to pieces, and then put them back together.
Well, for all intents and purposes, according to the original novel, it wasn't particular. It didn't look. How do I put it? It didn't look ugly. It was, for all intents and purposes, it was naturally beautiful. It just had really creepy eyes. It just had eyes that made you realize it wasn't human. You know what I mean? I guess.
What I'm saying is that this is a fantastic adaptation of the novel, and the other stories that are included in the U.S. version are also pretty good. I don't know if they're also in the Japanese release or not, but they're pretty good. And since I'm also talking about manga adaptations by Junji Ito, I'm also going to recommend the manga that I just finished reading today, which is his adaptation of Osamu Dazai's No Longer Human, which is a story about a man descending into a very personal hell as a result of sex, alcohol, and drugs.
Good shit.
Yeah. It's really good.
Did he have cocaine?
No.
Damn.
I think he had morphine.
Damn. So, okay.
Great book. Recommend it.
So what are we watching next?
Next up, I think it's time to go on a bit of a Last Crusade.
Okay. Are we going to the Holy Land?
Probably.
Maybe.
I should have led to that we were searching for the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
I should have. I'm leaving.
We're watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade next time. Yeah.
So, until next time, I'm ProtoMet.
This is my recycle balls.
Bye.
And please don't. Fucking. That opening, just forget it happened. Have a good one.
See ya.